Hey guys, before we start the top 5, please consider subscribing. Over 98% of you watching and coming back to these videos are not subscribed. But, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'll be doing a top 5 speed mousepad video. Now I will be covering them from 5th place to 1st place. This isn't really a real ranking system, but this is in order of my preference and what I'm looking for in a speed pad. In the number 5 spot, this is the Padsmith Crucible. This is the slowest technically of the 5 options that I'm showing today, and this is still one of my favorite mousepads of all time, regardless of rankings in this video. Like I said, this is the slowest of the 5 options, but in a speed pad video, that's not saying too much. It's on the medium to control side of it all, and it's probably one of the safest options you're going to get if you're a control pad user looking to get into speed mousepads. It's not out of control or slippery feeling in any way, but it has a decent bit of stopping power without feeling muddy or too slow to me. The surface itself is extremely soft to the touch and is very comfortable on the arm, which is why I like this pad so much. As you can see here, I have the desk pad variant, and there's also a smaller version with a mid PU base. The desk pad version has a more traditional rubber base that you would see, with the smaller version featuring a pour-on-like PU base, which is going to be a little bit softer. And the artist they commissioned to do this pad, Conradi, really does some amazing work. This is probably one of the best designs I have on any pad, and this is really outstanding to me. I really love this design and the way it looks, and it just fits into my setup. Moving on to the number 4 slot, I have the Kurosun Ninja. This is probably my second fastest, if not the fastest, out of all the pads in this video. And the consistency is why I have it as low as I do on the list. I love the way this pad feels and have no gripes outside of I need to wear a sleeve while using it, otherwise my arm would stick to the pad. But I did notice a bit of inconsistency with the humidity and a little bit of slowdown. After washing the pad though, this mostly did go away, and I noticed it was much closer to the out-of-box feeling that I liked and fell in love with this pad. Now, I will use a term called slippery, and that's how I'm going to describe the speed on this pad. The surface allows for a bit of a slippery feeling with your mouse, and it's pretty fast with not too much stopping power to speak of, but it is there. It's more on the side of all-out speed, and I'm a big fan of that, as well as I really love the Ninja design holding a kunai with the white stitched edging. It really helps the contrast, and it really adds to the whole aesthetic, and I'm genuinely in love with the theme of this pad. Now, breaking into the top 3, these will be in direct ranking of speed and preference to me, and if you're looking for a speed pad, these 3 will not disappoint you in any way. In the 3rd spot, we will have the Aeroneer Gecko. The base and firmness on this pad, out of the top 3 in my opinion, this is the best, and is the stickiest out of all the mouse pads I own. With it having almost no issue sticking in my desk, it can even pull some cars, which is Giga Chad marketing if you ask me. This is in sort of a similar boat to the Padsmith Crucible, in the sense that it's really comfortable on the arm with a little bit of texture. It's a medium plus-ish speed pad with a decent bit of stopping power, but this takes all of that and steps it up in terms of speed. It's going to be a little faster and overall a little less stopping power than the Crucible, but it's still really comfortable to use. The Gecko is an extremely high quality pad for the price. Addis even has it for as low as $34 right now, and in my opinion that's a really good deal for this pad. Stepping up to the number 2 slot, I have the Lethal Gaming Gear Neptune Pro and regular Neptune. I was waiting for this pad for a while. It was around 2 years ago I heard LGG was making a smooth speed pad and I was anticipating something great, seeing as how much I love their Venus and Saturn as much as I do. The Neptune is a weird pad in terms of dynamic friction. The initial friction is pretty low, but once you get the mouse going, it gets a little slower than you'd expect, helping you stay grounded and giving you the ability to readjust really well if you over or under flick on your target. My 2 gripes I have is it's just a boring black square, as well as I wish the base was just a bit firmer. It does feature a pour-on base though, and it does not have any issues sticking to my desk at all. Moving on to the number 1 slot, and probably my favorite speed pad at the moment, we have the Infinity Mice Speed V2 and Ruin. Now, I have had some bad luck so far with Infinity Mice pads, but that's not due to them as a company. Every time they are extremely quick to solve them though. For example, my Ruin was handled very poorly by the shipping company, and when it hit my doorstep, they mangled the packaging and mousepad inside, with the mousepad itself having some creasing on the corners and some sensor issues every time they went over it. The issue itself ended up going away on its own magically over the course of 3 or 4 days. But in this period, they offered 2 times to send out a replacement, which I didn't find necessary to waste resources and money on. Talking on the surface and speed though, these are the fastest of the top 3, as well as it has the least and most natural feeling stopping power to me personally. This pad has a low dynamic and initial friction, but having enough control mixed in to where it didn't feel overly slippery or too fast for me to use in any scenario. I think the only real issue I have with this pad is I wish the base was a bit firmer. It does feature an IPU plus base, but it is a little bit too soft for my liking, and the difference between the mid and the stop version is very minimal. Outside of that, this is my main mousepad at the moment. It's not leaving my desk anytime soon, or at least until I get something better. Now for the honorable mentions, they're going to be the Artisan Heian, Raiden, and Otsu. I didn't include these pads because I have a preference for larger, smoother mouse pads, but now I know Artisan is coming out with larger sizing. I just don't have any of them on hand at the moment to include. And I can't really speak on anything I don't have, I just don't believe in that. But that should be all for this video. If you do have any questions, please leave them down below and consider subscribing and liking this video.